I just described, which is to put the stones inside. And they'll use anywhere for up to 10, maybe even 15, depending on the size of the pig and the size of the stones available. They have to completely fill up the interior cavity of that pig, as well as put stones at additional cuts near the leg and the throat. Once that is set, they tie the feet together so the stones don't fall out by using material called la'i or tea leaf. And if you're wondering what that is, it's the leaves they're pulling off now. And if you were here earlier this week, many of our keiki use the same kinds of leaves to make their hula skirts out of. But our first usage as far as the imu is concerned is like a rope. And then they go back to the pit. Now, as I said, the temperature gets pretty hot. In fact, I don't even know how hot it gets, but I do know for a fact that we have found stones fused together in here. So it gets really hot. And so once we have the pig ready to go in, we can't put it straight on those rocks, because that's the bulk of the heat. So we have to do something to control that. And what we use, of course, is plant material. So the first layer of plant material to go directly on the hot stones is the trunk and leaves of the banana plant. Now the trunk is actually mattified leaf stems, roughly 80 to 90% water, and that creates the steam. Then on top of that plant material goes several stalks of la'i, or tea leaf. Now when they lifted the pig, you could see the leaves underneath. In this case, that leaf helps to prevent the pig from being scorched. So in a way, it's like foil. Foil you use in the oven keeps it from burning. And so without all that stuff, our food going straight on the rocks would turn into a giant crispy critter. So we have to use the material. Then they put the food on top of this beautiful bed of leaves, cover it with more leaves, so there's your foil wrap. And then today we use modern invention known as burlap bag and canvas. Now in ancient times it would have been a mat woven specifically for this event out of a material called lauhala or pandanus leaf. But today the creating that mat to protect our food from the last layer, which is all the sand that you see around here, they would have piled at least a half a foot worth of sand. But watching it get destroyed in the kind of temperatures we have here, it's a highly regarded art form, and it would be very sad to watch it be destroyed after one use. Today, we will not shed a tear over burlap bag because it's easy to replace. But we use that, again, to protect our food from the last layer, which is all the sand. Now, this is what we consider, as at least as far as OSHA is concerned, a traditional imu, and as traditional as they'll allow us. But this is pretty common in most imus throughout the state. Is pretty similar to this. What this does, though, is it actually turns into a giant pressure cooker, which is why we're able to cook a whole pig. Let's see what else we have. Additional pork, turkey, we kalua the turkey as well, and vegetables, which are considered traditional Hawaiian and Polynesian vegetables of uala, which is sweet potato, ulu, which is breadfruit, and kalo, which is taro. So you should try all of these imu foods that we have. Now I want to direct your attention to this other oven. Now this oven is called a umu. And a umu is traditional to places especially in Tonga and Samoa, although we refer to it as a Polynesian oven. Now the umu starts off very similarly, where there's a shallow pit, wood, stones on top of that. It's lit, the stones drop, and that's pretty much where they stay. They then take, this is a stem, a cut stem of a coconut leaf. And they would cut it up and put it directly on the rocks. And it looks a lot like a giant grill. Then they take their bundle of food and put it on the grill. Next, they take several more of these sticks and build a little teepee over the food and cover it with the banana leaf. And then, again, modern invention, canvas and burlap bag. And they only use about 2 or 3 inches of sand. And what happens, though, is it cooks a little differently from the emu. Where the emu is a pressure cooker, this is acting more like a convection oven. because with the teepee, the air pocket, it's superheated air, and it cooks very, very quickly. When we were learning how to do this, we had a gentleman come from Tonga to teach us how to do this, and he managed to cook 40 pounds of turkey in 1 hour. And so to me, that was impressive. Okay, so we were trying to figure out how we're going to make this work, because this takes a little bit longer. This takes about 4.5 to 5 hours, and then this one 1 hour. So what they did was they figured out that they could cook 40 pounds of fish in about 25 minutes. And so that's what we have coming out of the umu. It's fish, and then our pua'a and all the other foods that with it. And I'd like to introduce you all to our chefs. These gentlemen, if you're staying here at the resort, have been cooking for you all week, and they deserve a big hand for a job well done. Okay, so I think we're just about ready to head on back to the Ahaina building.